Hello everyone, Prasad Amonkar, real estate consultant and real estate coach. That was a spectacular view. That was the 2 BHK apartment with an unobstructed sea view in Goa. And it belongs to one of a client of mine. They stay in Bombay and the other person stays in Delhi. Now in such cases, the keys of that particular apartments are kept with the realtor. Okay, either they are kept with the realtor or their friends or relatives or anyone whom they trust. Today I'm going to talk to you about how to save yourself of the fraud in real estate, and especially in rentals, because it is so quick and so easy. I'll tell you how. So when I tell you how they operate, you would probably save yourself from this fraud and getting cheated. How they function. Now I'll tell you one story. For example, let's say there is an apartment. This is a real story, I'm telling you the real story, and it has happened. The people are also caught in such kind of fraud. What happens is the owner gave the key to one of the person, and that particular property was for sale. It wasn't available for leasing. This particular guy, along with one more support and one more, he is to show this apartment for leasing, renting this apartment. So the clients came, he used all the medium of advertisements like the newspaper and then maybe online, and giving a name to his own company or her company. And then the clients visited the apartment, which was actually for sale. The clients are not in Goa. So when clients come, as a good salesperson, you show the property and you give all the information, you give a lucrative price for the property. It becomes so easy to manage this deal. Once that's done, ideally the token is received by the owners. But in some cases, when the realtors or the agent or the freelancers or the brokers who are ethical, they always try to get the token in the name of owner, never in the name of his own account. I will never take money as a token in my account for someone else's property, and that's how it should be, because I cannot commit a particular property of my client to someone else by receiving money in my account. But if you have some wrong intentions, if you have that, you will receive money in your account, maybe the token money and probably the deposit. Now why clients pay deposit? Because they want to get into the leave and license agreement, and they sometimes the apartment or the villa or the property, commercial property is not maintained, so it has to be refurbished, so the deposits are paid upfront. In this case, the deposits can be actually paid at time of agreement, leave and license agreement, when all the terms and conditions are finalized and the owner is spoken to. Even if they are not here at the primary place of the premises, they can be contacted over the phone. So here the contact is not made between the owner and the tenant, between the landlord and the tenant, prospective tenant. The money is received in the person's account who intends to cheat that person, the tenant. And after a few days, when you try to contact that particular person, he is not available. Either he has taken the token from you or he has taken the entire deposit from you. So if the apartment cost is 30 or 50,000, you're almost paid 1.5 lakhs to 2 lakhs or maybe 50,000. But that's a big money. Even if it is a small money, you are getting cheated. And the worst part is you are paid and you are trying to come down and settle, you are relocating and you don't have an apartment. So you need to start that process all over again. So for the owners, I would request that whenever you are handing over the key to someone, he has to be your relative or someone whom you can trust, or maybe a realtor whom you have dealt before, and not to anybody. And when you are selling a property or when you are renting a property, your property which is on lease can be used for weaving and extracting money from clients. This is what they do. You must have come across some people like this. Not many in Goa, but there are. So if there is even one person doing this, or two people doing this, or 3 or 4 or 5 people are getting cheated, it's not right. So standard thing is, you need to give the key to someone whom you trust. maybe their relatives or realtors or anyone else. And then getting money into your account is very, very important. So if the first step is followed, the second step becomes easy, because the person who has good ethics, he will never take money into his account. He will always transfer that money from the prospective tenants to the owner's account. That's how it goes. And then third, the terms and conditions are arrived, and the overall if the client is not available here, the owners are not available here, the teleconferencing is done between all the parties including the agent. All these things are done. So what you will do next time is up to you. I'm not going to tell you in details what happens, what you need to do. I have told you what happens, what's the modus operandi, how these people cheat the owners and the prospective tenants. Because your key is with someone who can use it for good. Or so next time when you want to put up a property on lease, this is for someone who is staying beyond the principal premise area. Okay. There is also something called as tenant verification done during the leave-in license agreement. So when you are when you are dealing with a client, when you are dealing with a prospective tenant, you need to get the tenant verification done. So if the realtor is not following all this process, you need to doubt. If the realtor is not doing tenant verification, is not allowing you to speak to the owners of the property, there is something wrong in it. So for the tenants, it's very important that before putting money into anybody's account, they need to talk to the owners of the property. That's so simple. You can't, the realtor or the agent or broker or freelancer or anybody else, they are not authorized to take money from you, either cash or check or transfer. Nothing. Check can be in the name of the owners, but no cash paid, no transfers done into their own account. For tenants, it's very, very simple. They need to follow the basics. You get cheated when you trust too much someone, right? So that's it. I mean, there's nothing else to tell you. Next time when I'll take you through the sales process and how there also you need to be doing a proper due diligence. All the best.